story time on how I was dealing with a guy for a year and a half, and then literally not even a week of us making it official, he cheated on me with his ex-wife. Yeah, get your popcorn ready, because it's messy. So I'm going to start off by saying this. I met him, okay, so we go to the same church or whatever. So when I first met him, he told me that, he was going through a divorce or whatever, and they weren't getting back together because, blah, 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 their reasons, whatever. So he told me they weren't getting back together. I'm like, cool, whatever. So I'm asking my friends, like, is this okay? Like, because you're really not supposed to be dating people and you're married, whatever. But if you're telling me you're getting divorced and y'all are never getting back together, then I'm like, okay, I guess I get a pass. And ladies, let me tell you, learn from me. If he's going through a divorce, run. Until he gets that divorce, do not deal with him. And it might be some men out here that, can function without doing that and really have moved on because it's been long enough and they've been separated long enough. But girl, I'm telling you, listen, if he's going through a divorce, run. But yeah, so they're going through their divorce or whatever. So then what ends up happening, me and him are talking and, we're starting to get feelings for each other, whatever. So he has the divorce going on. And then in between that, he has a female best friend that he's really close with. And I ended up asking him, like, have y'all ever, like, slept together or whatever? And he tells me, yeah, like, they slept together a lot. Like, that was his little boo thing or whatever. But they never got together because, their reasons or whatever. So they became best friends. And I was never cool with that. Like, I told him straight up, like, no, I don't like that. Like, if y'all used to sleep together, there's no way y'all are best friends. Like, that's not, you can't do it. I don't care what anybody says. A female and a guy cannot be friends and y'all used to sleep together. You cannot. And especially if one of them, aka the best friend, her, especially if she still has feelings for you, like, that's a no-go. No. And honestly, while I'm telling y'all the story, it's going to be so many points where I should have left. And the first one was when I found out he was going through divorce, should have left in. When I found out he was best friends with the female that he used to sleep with, I should have left in. It's so many points in this story. Like, I really should have left, but I didn't. And honestly, it's probably going to be more than one part to this story because it's going to be really long. But anyway, so he tells me that, that's his best friend and she's been there for him throughout all this, stuff he had going on in life or whatever. So she's always going to be here, whatever. Red flag. Again, should have left in, but I didn't because I liked him oh so much. And ladies, you know how we do. Don't do it. Take it from me. Don't do it. So yeah, so aside from the best friend, again, we're dating and we're hanging out and whatever, catching feelings, whatever. So he, at first, like I said, he told me, when he was with his soon-to-be ex-wife, that there was no way they were getting back together because she did all this stuff and he did this stuff and whatever. And then eventually, once we got like more deep into like our situationship, that ended up changing. And he was like, he doesn't know what he wants to do because they have kids together and he didn't want to make it seem like they didn't at least try or whatever. So fast forward a few months after we're dating and talking, whatever. So she ends up moving back in the house. I should have left in, but I didn't because I was like, you know what? He's sitting up here telling me like, oh, like we're still not trying to be together. We just want to be able to like tell the kids that we tried and like whatever. And I believe it like a little dummy. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I was being dumb. I believed it. Yeah. So she ends up moving back in and I'm like, well, what's the living arrangement going to be? Because y'all gonna be sleeping in the same bed? Oh, and then I forgot. So they ended up going, like, during the divorce process, I guess at some point they said, like, they need to go to counseling. And I guess that was, like, a part of it. So they ended up going to counseling. And then they decided they should be living under the same roof while going to counseling, which I didn't understand. I feel like y'all can go to counseling but don't have to live together, but whatever. What do I know? But yeah, so that's what he was telling me. They were living together because they were going to counseling. So I asked him, I was like, okay, so what's the living arrangement going to be? And he was like, well, this is somebody I was with for 15 years, so we're going to be sleeping in the same bed. And I'm like,
once they start talking like that, it's time to pack it up and go. Once they start reminiscing like, oh, this is my wife and it's been 15 years, you need to understand that it is not going to be. It's time to go. It's time to pack it up. As the new person in the relationship, listen, it's time to go. He is not fully healed yet. He's still using that. We've had all this experience together. He's trying to use the time they had together against you. Oh, yeah, it's time to pack it the fuck up.
It just sounds like he got some unbreakable bonds. So let's just start off. You can't cut off the side chick. that's around that you stay messing with. Now you sleeping in the same bed as your wife? Now there ain't no explaining it. Y'all sleeping in the same bed together.
As a man, I have no excuses. Now, I try to see the man perspective every time we make a video, but I'm blown away by that. I'm not gonna lie. Yo, of course, we've been together for 15 years. We're gonna share a bed. We've been sharing a bed for 15 years.
What?
And go back and share a life. What do you mean? Like, okay, now let me get with my ex, and since we was sharing a bed for the last 6-7 months, we could just share a bed while you and your wife share a bed. Just go ahead and call it what it is. This is an open relationship. This is an open marriage. Talking about okay, listen, don't get me wrong. During a divorce, I think it's very healthy to do counseling after a divorce, especially for the children. It's nothing wrong with doing counseling. I support that 100%. But being in the same house you're not even legally separated at this point. You're only legally separated when you're actually not at the same address. You know what I'm saying? You might not be divorced, but you're legally separated once you leave the home. So if you're still living in the home, sir, this is not a divorce. This is not a separation. You're actively working on your marriage while in another relationship. Just for all my future people, just letting y'all know. Just learn, what separation is and what divorce really looks like. They're actually still married and working on it. They're not even trying to be legally separated. They're living in the same house. She just let him have a little fling.
All I can say is at least he's honest and he let this woman know this is what you're getting yourself into. Like it or not, you can go out the door.
Is it money?
This is what it is.
Is it money involved? It has to be some money involved. Is there opportunities involved? Why are we signing up for this? What does he look like?
Willing participant, you guys.
At this point, and I'm not knocking the creator because, at the same time, love can be blinding. Whether you want to admit you love that man or not, you had to if you just...
Is love hard of hearing too?
Shit, it can be very blinding in all aspects.
He was very direct.
Yeah, that sleeping in the bed part would have had me rolling. Steaming. Imagine being with the woman in that perspective, and she's like, yeah, me and my husband is still in the room together, and we're going to be sleeping in the same bed. Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am? Ma'am, excuse me. Like, don't make this worse. Like, this is crazy as hell. You signing yourself up for heartbreak at this point.
Like, so are y'all going to be having sex? Like, how's that going to go? And he said no, because he don't want to be with her or whatever. So yeah, so after her living there for maybe like a month or two, I just randomly asked him like, hey, so have y'all had sex or anything? And he says yes. So I blocked him. And then of course, after blocking him, he blows up my phone and does all this stuff and popping up to my house and whatever, trying to talk. And I end up taking him back. And then he's the type of guy, he's very manipulative. Like, he's very good at what he does. Like, he can make you, like, even though you be right, he can make you feel like you're crazy for like not wanting to deal with him. And then he'll say something like, oh, well, I thought you cared about me, and if you cared, you wouldn't be doing this, and if you really cared about me, you wouldn't just drop me because of this and whatever. And then he's also the type of guy, if you come to him with an issue, he's going to turn it back on you. And then he also has an attitude where he doesn't care about things. Like, he'll say, oh, well, I don't feel like arguing. Like, as soon as you bring up an issue, now it's going to be an argument because I haven't even said anything yet. Why are you assuming it's going to be an argument? And that was literally how it went. And then we would get an argument. And then as soon as I get upset and yell or raise my voice, now my attitude and me yelling is the problem, and not what you did is the problem. Like, I'm not speaking to you. Like, you literally just ignored me, and I was trying to be nice and take you out. No, I'm not speaking to you. So then I walk off, go in the restaurant, get my dessert, and I leave. So when I leave, he starts blowing up my phone, asking me who I'm out there with and whatever. And I'm on the phone with my girlfriends or whatever, telling them what's going on and, how he here and whatever. So then later on that night, I end up asking him because, like I said, he kept asking me who I was there with. So I asked him, I said, well, who was you there with? And he was like, somebody. And I said, who was somebody? Turns out he was there with a female best friend. And I said, well, how? Okay, so I try to plan a date for you. Then you act stank with me all day, and I decide to cancel on you because you were ignoring me. Then I turn around and ignore you, and somehow you end up there with your female best friend that you don't like, and that who you slept with. Be for real. And during all this, the best friend is still around. And then at one point, and mind you, she likes him, right? Like, she's like obsessed with this guy. So while we were talking, there was a point where it was his birthday and he likes banana pudding. So I had took him some banana pudding and he was not like responding to me. Long story short, he never got the banana pudding or whatever. So whatever. So then he asked me to get him some banana pudding and I didn't want to because I'm like, I bought you some banana pudding. So no. So he ends up getting the best friend to make him some and she brought it to his house. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like that because why, first of all, why is she coming to your house? And secondly, why is she making you banana pudding? And then a few days after that, I guess he placed the order at H&M and he asked her to go get it. And I'm like, is this your best friend or your girlfriend? Like, I'm confused. Like, you say you don't like her and you say she's so annoying and she's always so emotional and y'all have had conversations about, you know, that it's y'all only friends and she can't handle that and whatever. And I've always expressed to him, like, I don't like that. Like, if me and you are ever going to be anything, she got to go because that's not what best friends do. Like, me and my best friends don't do stuff like that. I've never slept with my best friend. Like, I've never kissed my best friend. I've never done any of that. So that's a red flag in itself. So I'm like, no. Then it was a time where, because we all go to the same church. So it was a time where she hit him up asking, is he coming to church because she want to see him. And I'm like, oh, well, why she worrying about if you going to be at church if y'all just friends? Like, I'm really confused. Then it was another time that she texted him asking, is anybody going to be at the house? And I'm like, well, why is she asking you that? And he said that she was like, oh, because I want to have sex. Oh, but that's your best friend. So then at that point, I'm like, no, like, y'all cannot be talking. If you want to deal with me, you cannot talk to her because apparently she still likes you. And then thinking about it now, apparently you still had some feelings for her too, or you just like attention. Because there's no way she gonna be acting like that if you're not giving her attention. And every time I said that, he getting mad at me and getting all defensive and like, no, that's my best friend and and we not even together anyway. And that was his favorite thing to say. Well, we not together anyway. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have to deal with this. I can be done. And every time I try to be done, here he goes, blowing up my phone, calling me, begging for me to take him back, apologizing, saying, oh, well, you know, I'll do this now. Then there was another time where, because I'm very much so like, if I'm dating somebody, I like to treat them like I like to take my man on a date or whatever. So I told him I was going to take him out, just randomly, just going to take him out on a date or whatever. So literally that whole day, he was acting very stank with me for no reason. Then he got to the point where he was like ignoring me or whatever, because we ended up getting an argument on the phone the day of the date, like earlier in the day. We got an argument on the phone. He acting stank with me, then started ignoring me and all this stuff. So then I'm like, you know what? I didn't tell him this, but I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go anymore. So whatever. So I started ignoring him. So then that night I decided, because I hadn't put my makeup on and got all cute and stuff, I was like, well, I'm still going to go. So whatever. So I go by myself. I go to the first restaurant, you know, got some hibachi because we both like hibachi. Went to the first restaurant by myself, ate, had a good time by myself. Then I get to the dessert spot where both of us like to go for dessert. And I see him when I get there. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. So then when he's walking out, he tries to say hey to me. And I'm like, I'm not speaking to you. Like, are you crazy?
She must like competing against other women or something. Because once you realize he got two other women, why are you catering to this man? That's why he like her, though. That's why he like her. You know, she's like home away from home. Yeah, it's the little vacation spot. You know, like everybody got that favorite little vacation spot. That's his favorite little vacation spot. You come over there, she make you some food, she take you out to dinner. Real pampering, real demure. I don't know what the fuck.
All these women, man. It must be something he got. Something he got that they can't resist.
Oh yeah, what's that?
I have no idea.
What is that message?
Common denominator here.
I mean, I think in all seriousness, though, when you meet people at church, people fail to realize it's like when you go to church, that doesn't mean this person has his life together. Church is full of broken people, lost people, confused people, people who struggle with addictions, people who just struggle with all types of things. It's not perfect people. It's people who's trying to get their life together, though. They're on the right path because they're trying to find that moral compass to help them, you know, align their life and stuff. But I think we go into church thinking like, oh, you know, this person is on the right track. They know God, they praising God, but they don't realize how broken these people truly are. So it's like in her situation, I can tell she's a broken soul because why are you dealing with it? You know, why are you sitting there, you know, putting up with it? It's a good story time. It's like, oh, wow, this is what this man did to me. But in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking to myself, then why are you tolerating it though? You don't have no kids with him. You don't have no real reason to be really putting up with this type of stuff. So what really made you get up every day and decide like, I'm gonna deal with this, knowing all of the stuff? Because he's been completely transparent up until now. He's told you, like, he could have just kept it to himself and, you know, but I'm not saying what he did was right, but at least he was honest. So it's like he gave you the opportunity to walk away. And even though he is very like obsessive, he's coming up and, you know, don't allow it. You know, stick to what you know for fact. You know, it's like you're with another woman. And then it's funny because it's crazy because he even told her, like, you know, I'm messing around with this woman. And then he keeps popping up with this woman. So it's like, what? So it's at this point in my mind, I feel like she's okay with it. She's okay with the other woman. She's okay with him being with another woman. She says she's not, but why are you still there? Your actions is what we looking at, not what you're seeing.
I feel like when people insert themselves into mess like this, it's because they have their own mess going on. So if I'm so focused on what you're doing, you can't be focused on what I got going on. The attention's on you. Somebody got to be the bad guy.
Yeah, it's probably just wanting to be a fixer too. I can tell, like, if she's the catering type, then she's probably the fixing type too. Like, she likes to see a problem and, you know, try to figure out how to fix it. And that's a good trait to have. There's nothing wrong with that. But what you do when you have that trait is you leave a door open for people who are narcissists in a sense. I'm not saying this man's a narcissist. I don't know, you know, but you leave doors open for another person can see that and take advantage of that in a sense. Like, I'm going to see the fact that she loves, like, I got to always have problems to be around this woman. She likes to feel like, you know, needed. So I'm gonna find ways to make her feel needed and still get what I want. That's how men think. Not all men, but, you know, in this situation, this how he's thinking. You know, I just stepped out of a marriage and it's like everything else is just free game to him. So she's just free game and she don't realize that. And it's sad because, you know, you might be looking at it as a new boyfriend, a new life possibly. And he's just looking at it as like, I'm just happy to be away from home and allowed to do what I want to do. You know, that's the best way to, he pretty much living in an open marriage. But yeah.
And it's his response every time is like, well, we're not even together. Which is true.
Which is true. 100% true.
She's like making it seem like they're in a relationship and I have all these rules basically. Like, I don't want you to have a girl best friend. I don't want you to live with your wife. But it's like, you really have no say-so right now in his life.
Yeah. No.
At all.
No credible say-so. Like, he's not going to listen to it. At the end of the day, all these complaints you're saying about him is you starting to realize why he's getting that divorce, ain't you? Huh? Sometimes you gotta look at that. I'm not saying, you know, divorcees are the worst batch of people you can date because a lot of those divorcees come out to be really good because you can learn from those prior mistakes. You know, it's just experience. That's what I look at it as. Like, oh, they got a little experience when it comes to, you know, this stuff. But in some situations, you gotta look at the whole picture though. If he was the problem in that relationship, then he's going to be the problem in your relationship, especially if he didn't take any time to get his life together, like mentally. Forget financially. Men will get out of a relationship and quickly go get their money up and think, you know, that's a part of getting our life together. But in reality, it's more than that. It's actually getting your mental together because that's how you know you're going to change for the next relationship. If not, it's just going to be a repeat cycle, no matter how old you are. And don't think because you're dating an older man that he's excluded from this. He's going to be the same way too. If he don't know how to get himself together, then how's he going to be able to lead you in your relationship? You know?
Part 2. That's 4. I was supposed to take him on a date or whatever. Then he started acting stink with me for no reason. Then he started ignoring me. So then therefore I in turn ignored him. He got upset. So I decided I didn't want to take him out anymore because you don't deserve it. Because why are you acting like that? And I'm trying to be nice and take you on a date. Come on. So like I said, I ended up going to the dinner spot, to the hibachi spot by myself. Then I go to the dessert spot and he's there. And then when I left, like, because we saw each other and again, he tried to speak, but I didn't speak to him and I just kept walking. And I'm on the phone with my girlfriends, like telling them what's going on and all this stuff. So when I leave, he's blowing up my phone and asking me like who I'm there with. And I'm like, okay, well, who were you out there with? Because I was by myself. And the fact that you keep asking me who I was out there with, it's obviously you were out there with somebody, because why do you keep thinking I'm out here with somebody? So like I said, when I left, he was asking me who I was out there with. So I ended up asking him, well, who were you out there with? And he was like, somebody. And I said, who? And then he was like, his best friend. So yeah, how you end up at the restaurant with her. So according to him, she so happens to text him while he's on his way there to get some dessert or whatever, because he still wanted to get dessert, and he ends up with her, which is crazy because it's like you didn't have to respond. But again, his excuse is, well, she hit me up, so whatever. No self-control at all. And again, I should have left then. And we actually did stop talking after that for a little bit. But then again, he's good at what he does. And he's very good at making you feel bad for not wanting to deal with him. And then he's very persistent in reaching out to you, blowing your phone up, leaving voicemails if you don't answer, popping up. Like, that's very like his MO. That's what he does. And again, he's very good at it. And he's very good at manipulating you and making you feel guilty for not wanting to deal with him. So I get right back into it. So then, after that, like I said, we stopped talking and we started talking again. So then it gets to the point where I'm working at his house every day, like all during the, throughout the week or whatever. And then I leave when his kids get there. So then he ends up going on a work trip to North Carolina or South Carolina, wherever. And, he wanted me to go, and I ended up surprising him, and I drove and went. Now, mind you, I am in Florida. That was like a 7-hour drive. So as soon as I get there at like 12 in the morning. As soon as I get there, he's on the phone with his soon-to-be ex-wife, arguing with her about whatever. So he goes out the room and they're arguing. And I'm like, what am I even here for? I just got here and now you're on the outside in the hallway arguing with her. So he comes back in the room and I'm acting like I'm asleep because I'm like, I don't even want to deal with this. Like, whatever. Again, should have left then, but I didn't. So then the next day, we go out and I meet his coworkers or whatever, and we go to bar hopping or whatever, and we end up getting drunk. So he likes to take pictures with, like, I guess the women that he dates, because he always wanted to take a picture with me. So he ends up taking a picture of us on my phone and posted it on my story. So somehow the female best friend sees it. Now, mind you, she don't follow.
So he took a picture on your phone and posted it on your story. And that's not a red.
It sounds like he can have his whole roster, but he wants to be the only one on yours.
Just tell me it was money involved at this point. I will not even judge you. Just tell me this man was paying you some crazy money, or he was sending you crazy bankrolls. Something. Just tell me he was sending you crazy bankrolls.
It sounds like that's what she was doing for him.
It just doesn't make sense. Why are you sticking through this so far? Like, I get it. You say, I should have left. Yes, you should have more than left. Why did you drive 7 hours?
I don't blame her. Some people just want to be a lover girl. She want to treat her man. She want to surprise him. But ladies, you got to know who to do that with. Not every man deserves that treatment.
Man, I feel like a big brother in this situation. You know how you be on your little sister's like, bro, what is you doing? Like, that's how I take this approach. I'm not judging you. I'm just like, it's almost like I'm in the moment. I'm just trying to be like, dang, like, what can we do to prevent this moving forward for other women? Because this is insane. Like, it's the red flags are, if the red flags are this clear and we missing them, God, if he ever tried to hide anything, it wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take much at all, because he's literally telling her everything he's doing. And then it's okay. The fact that he's not posting you on his own social medias, but he wants to be seen on social media with you, but only in your audience, to me is a way of control. I feel like he's trying to control you. And you don't see that even in the storytelling. You don't realize that the reason why he was doing that is to make other men not interested in you. It's like, it's a control thing. If it's not a control thing, then he will put it on his profile. He will also take away his opportunities by letting people know that, hey, I'm in this serious relationship. But he ain't gonna do that, is he? Because he has a side chick that you know of. And understand this, if you know of a side chick, then it's another side chick you don't know of, trust me. So it's other fish in the sea that he's trying to court too. So he's not gonna post you on his social media. But that's just my take when it comes to that.
I feel like when you give somebody an inch, they'll take a mile. So when he already let her know up front, like, I got a wife, we're gonna be staying in the same house, and she was like, dust my hands off, you're gonna do whatever you wanna do. It was like a green flag. He was gonna continue to add more baggage onto that because you already said, basically, it's okay.
I kind of want to know the ages of how old was she and how old was he? Because I want to understand just the mentality. Like, why is it? Maybe she was young. Maybe he was older, when I hear married, sometimes I think older. Automatically, I default to older, but I forget you could be young. You could be married young and all type of stuff. So I just really want to know the age.
Married though.
I don't even remember that part.
It was like a big gap.
Oh, 15.
It was.
How old was this man? Because she don't look that older, right? She look young. I'm not judging you. You free to love. You grown. Okay, whatever. I'm not judging nobody who's a grown woman dating older people. That is what it is. Now, if you a kid dating older men, then we gonna have some. I might have to get on the phone with some people, send some people your way to check up on you. Make sure
I'm gonna say the golden rule. Crazy. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Golden rule. It's the golden rule for a reason.
Listen, you just a part of the program when they that much older than you. If he was married for 15 years, that's an experienced dude. He know exactly what he's doing. You trying to teach him stuff his own wife couldn't teach him in the last 15 years. Just think about that for a second. I know women like to think that you're better than the other woman and that they'll never do it to you. But if a woman has put in 15 years with him, you should have probably sat down with her. You should probably try to find a way to get in contact with her. Because the things she'll tell you will be like mind blowing. And yes, most of that will be to get you the hell up out the picture because she probably still dipping and dabbing in that situation. And I think it's more like emotional real estate that's been invested into that. So it's like money involved, all the stuff that she's put into that relationship. It's kind of hard to walk away. So I don't blame the wife for dipping and dabbing back in her relationship. But what other people do not understand is if somebody's put that much time into a marriage and it flops, you gotta take that in consideration. But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section so far, but let's get back into this.
So why is you stalking my page? So she sees it and then I guess texts him and was mad and like going off or whatever. So then that night when we got back to the hotel, now he's on the phone like early in the morning arguing with her about the picture that we took. So then when he comes back in the room, I'm like, so why are y'all arguing if y'all are just friends? Like, that doesn't make sense. And then he's like, oh, well, because she still like me and she's having a hard time, like, getting over me and whatever. And I'm like, again, this is why I don't want y'all talking. If y'all are best friends, she shouldn't be mad that you're posting the female that you're talking to on a story. Like, she shouldn't be mad about that if y'all are really best friends. Again, I should have left, but I did not because I'm listening to what he's telling me. Girls, ladies, if he has a female best friend, run. Just run. Don't ask no questions. Don't ask no explanations. Just run. So now we're at Valentine's Day. So me and him end up going to Orlando for Valentine's Day, right? And we were having a good time. Like, everything was fine. So then that night, he tells me, he's like, I want to ask you something, but I really don't want to ask you it. Of course, if you say that, the other person's going to be like, oh, well, what is it? Just ask. So he keeps saying that he doesn't want to ask me. And I'm like, just ask the question, like, what is it? So he ends up telling me that his best friend, the female best friend that likes him and has slept with him and all this other stuff, that she's also in Orlando. And she wants to know if she can come hang out with us. Now, mind you, we had been drinking, so I'm a little drunk. So initially my first reaction is no. Like, I literally tell him no, like, she can't. Then I think about it and I'm like, you know what? If it's what you're saying and she knows about us, and well, clearly she does because she's like, can I come hang out with y'all on Valentine's Day? Clearly you know what's up. So I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Yeah, tell her to come on. Tell her she can come hang out with us. And then he was like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't like how you just changed your answer. And I'm like, no, like, tell her to come on. It's fine. Like, I don't want her to be by herself. Like, first of all, why is she in Orlando by herself anyway? And his story to that was, oh, she was supposed to be coming with her friends, but they all ditched her and she ended up coming by herself. And she's out drunk. And since he cares about her, he don't want nothing to happen to her. So that's why he asked if she come with us. First of all, as a female, why are you out drunk in a city you don't live in by yourself? Then I feel like she did that on purpose. And later on, we found out she did do this on purpose. So yeah. So again, she ends up coming or whatever. So I'm trying to hold my composure because I'm like, no, I don't want to set off any red flags. And he tell her she can't come. So we end up going to a restaurant. Me and him get there first. She ends up coming. And as soon as she gets there, she's like being all weird. And then when she sits down at the bar, no, matter of fact, when she comes in, so he's sitting, okay, so he's closest to the door. And I'm on his right side. So she said, she walks past him and was like, hey. And I'm like, girl, really? Go on and hug him and kiss on him like you do when I ain't here. Stop. Don't do that. So she walks past him and was like, hey. And then she comes to me and gives me a hug. And I'm like, okay. So then she goes back and sits by him. So now she's close to the door. He's in the middle and I'm on the right side. So when the bartender comes up and asks her like what she want to drink or does she want to order, she was like, oh, well, I'm not supposed to be here, but, you know, I'll take whatever drink she ordered. And I'm like, why are you even saying that? Like, you already know, you already know this is weird. So why are you even saying that? So then the bartender brings her drink. Then she asks her, like, you know, do you want to order some food? And she says again, like, well, I'm not supposed, I really shouldn't be here. So when she says that second time, I don't know what snapped in me, but I literally said, yeah, you shouldn't be here. So why are you here? So then she gets mad. And how you gonna get mad? First of all, this is Valentine's Day and you ruining our date. So you shouldn't have no kind of attitude. If anybody got attitude, it should be me. So when I say, you know, she shouldn't be here, she gets attitude and she was like, well, if you didn't want me to come, you shouldn't have said I could come. I said, first of all, I told you can come because I wanted to talk to you and let you know and ask you, why do you think this is okay? Why do you think inviting yourself out with us on Valentine's Day is okay? So then she was like, so she ended up getting up and she was like, well, I didn't have to come. And she was like, ask him while I'm here. And I was like, oh no, baby, don't worry about it. I'm going to handle that. I'm worried about you right now. So why are you here? So then she acting like she want to fight, but she's smart because she wouldn't get close to me. And what she didn't realize is that glass that I had, that drink I had was in my hand, and I was ready to use it if she would have walked up on me. Because baby, don't play with me. So me and her going back and forth or whatever. So then I was like, I think I said, just sit down and talk or whatever. Like, why is you doing all that and you really not trying to fight? So she sat down and she was like, okay, well, I'm listening. I said, well, obviously not because you still got an attitude. So what, like, do you want to talk or what? So then she ends up leaving or whatever. And so as she leaves, he gets mad at me. And then he's like, why did you do that? Like, you shouldn't have told her she can come if you really didn't want her to come. And I'm like, really? Why would I want her to come? Why did you even ask me? That's where the problem started. When y'all even started texting each other asking, can she come? That's where the problem started. So again, me and him are drunk. We end up going to another bar and getting more drunk. We had like this weird, like, calm argument about it. So then we went back to the hotel room and, you know, we were, you know, whatever, it was Valentine's Day. So we go back to the hotel room and then the next morning we talk about it. And then, you know, he apologized and was like, you know, it was disrespectful. And then he ended up calling her and they had whatever conversation or whatever. So then, that's Valentine's Day. So then after that, I'm like, no, you can't talk to her ever again. If you want to be with me, you cannot talk to her, period. Point blank, period. Like, if you want to talk to me, you cannot be friends with her at all. So according to him, he stopped talking to her. Whatever. So yeah, so they're no longer talking according to him. But then we ended up going out of town another time and we're both drunk, but he's more drunk than I am. So then he randomly asked me like, hey, does anybody have like your name tattooed on them? And I was like, no. I was like, do people have your name tattooed? And he was like, yeah, a couple people. And I was like, who? And he was like, his soon to be ex-wife and the best friend. So I'm like, oh, she got your name tattooed on her. But y'all best friends. Make it make sense.
She thinks she has control of this situation, but in reality, she has no control over this situation. The way it's going in one ear and out the other for this man is honestly, I understand. I get it. If I find, and I'm not even trying to bash the storyteller, but if you run into women like this who really don't put their foot down, they think they putting their foot down, but they not really putting their foot down. Men will walk over this. Like you're an attractive woman, right? But you also a woman who seems to have a lot of insecurities because why would you tolerate another man stepping out on you so frequently? It's almost like you don't know that you can have any man you want in a sense, you know, and he sees that, you know, there's no way you wasn't mingling on your own while he was mingling. Like, why are you so 100% committed? I mean, you do, that means she has a good heart, I guess, but it just doesn't make sense to why you constantly are dealing with the disrespect. Like, you still slept with that man even though he, you know, pretty much showed. If you ain't getting it by now, Messy family, this is like a poly relationship, a unwanted one at that. Like, you're not even a willing participant. The other girl is though. That's what she don't realize. The other girl not only knows about you, she knows about the wife. And after even knowing that he had a wife, this woman was crazy enough to still tattoo this man. Mind you, he was married for 15 years, so how the hell did he meet a friend that put a tattoo on her body? like Like, think about that. The ex-wife, understandable. The girlfriend, and then you're in the picture. And now you're about to get branded. I think by the end of this video, she's going to be branded. This is crazy.
He is definitely playing both sides, and her anger towards the best friend is so misdirected because he is the one in control of all of this. She's saying, oh, like, why do you feel like you should be here? Why did he feel like, he could invite her there? He obviously just does not respect you at all. Mind you, out of all days, Valentine's Day, where you're supposed to be with the one that you love, and he has both of his women there, he feel like he got it all.
Yeah. I'm seeing the play. I'm seeing the layout. It makes sense from a man perspective. Like, yeah, these both your women. One I'm okay with, the other one's just, you got some getting around to do at this point. Hell, you don't have no choice in this situation.
He thought she was coming around to it where she said, yeah, it's fine, come on. And now it is kind of looking like, why you flipping out if you were just acting like you was okay with it? So who's really in the wrong here? They all okay with the open relationship. You seeming like you okay with it, but now you want to flip out and make it a big situation when you knew what you was getting yourself into. And let's not forget, in the very beginning, he said basically unbreakable bonds with this woman.
Yeah.
And you still were okay with it. What do you think that means? Unbreakable. No matter what you say, no matter how you feel, this is their relationship. Either you get on board or you get off.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you though. Her anger is definitely misdirected. Like, you're mad at another woman who was in the picture before you when you should be mad at the man you with. Like, you saying, I'm going to handle him later, then you sleep with him, and it's like, is that handling him later? It's like real conversation I have with my big sister. I will never misguide my sister, and I will never misguide any woman if they asking me specifically advice when it comes to this, or if I'm hearing stuff and I can, whatever. But when it comes to these type of situations, you get what you allow when it comes to men. If you allow a man to come in and show you that he, first of all, don't respect you and going to be dealing with other women, he don't even care about your opinions. You can keep on saying, I'm going to leave you, but I promise you that never stopped his opinion. It just goes in one ear and out the other. Because you literally, I don't think, it's like if you show me I could bring another woman to Valentine's Day with us, and it's like, I slept with this woman, you know she likes me, she's competing for your spot, and then you still sleeping with me later on that day, guess what I'm gonna do next time? Like, guess what my mind just told me? Like, I feel like now the sky's the limit. I got a woman who's just kinda not like feeling it, but she's feeling it. It's either you not feeling it or you feeling it. It's no in between. You don't tell him to bring another woman to the table if you're not feeling that, You think you had control over that situation, and you realize in that moment you had no control. Like, this man gonna do what he want, and you say you're mad at her. You mad at her when you dealing with a 15-year-old married, not a 15-year-old, but a man who's been married for 15 plus years, still living with his wife, still sleeping in the bed with his wife at this current moment. And you're worrying about this. Like, man, you don't realize the break you giving that wife. You think that the wife is about to lose out on this man. This wife is probably sitting back having a field day watching this story time. Like, this is crazy. Like, to think you thought you was getting a nigga, that you was getting a good man. You really was giving her a break. While he was out of town with you, his wife was probably getting folded like a lawn chair, if I'm being honest with you, by her other man. This is just an open relationship, and you are not winning this race. This is a loss. The wife is still winning. Sadly, the ex-wife, she's still winning in this situation. And if she was smart, I would definitely divorce his ass and then take his ass to court for all this shit that he got going on, because she can get out of that way faster, and he can end up paying all of these legal fees because he's actually stepping out the marriage. And if she gets some proof, he's cooked.
Part 3. And I think this is the last part, hopefully. I don't know. I told y'all this story is really long. I warned you. So then me and him are, getting closer. He finally gets the divorce. Cool. I'm thinking we're good. You know what I'm saying? This has been a year going through this stuff. So then after that, after they get a divorce, me and him again, we're still dating. So then his birthday comes around. So I decide I'm going to take him, because he likes steak. I decide I'm going to take him to this really expensive steakhouse that he likes. And I'm going to, do it up. I went and got him some dessert from the place. I called the restaurant, had them set up balloons and everything for him and whatever. So we get to the restaurant, he's surprised and sees all the stuff. We have a good night. So then he ends up he did something, obviously at the restaurant too, because that night he ended up asking me to be his girlfriend. Like, did the whole little cute plate thing and everything, had them bring out dessert and will you be my girlfriend on the plate and all that stuff. So after that, we're good. So I thought. So then, actually, nope, I forgot something. So the week before that, when we were at church, he sat with me at church, and the female best friend saw, and she got mad, and then ended up quitting like her ministry at the church or whatever because she got mad. And I'm like, well, if y'all aren't talking anymore, why is she upset? Because you're sitting with me at church. I'm confused. Red flag. But anyway, so I'm his girlfriend now. Yay. So then a few days later, it's Halloween, and he tells me that his ex-wife and their kids are going trick-or-treating. So I simply tell him, like, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with it. Because why are y'all doing stuff as a family and y'all are divorced? And I understand, like, people want to do stuff with their kids or whatever. But the thing is, he told me this is their first time doing that. And, like, the entire time, the 13 years that they've been together with their kids, or 12 years, however old their oldest kid is. So that was weird to me, because I'm like, well, why are y'all introducing them to this now if this hasn't been a thing? So that's why it was uncomfortable for me. And honestly, and again, because they've had sex before, I'm like, I'm just not comfortable with it. So he gets mad at me and like goes off, and then start being distant with me and was like, nobody gonna keep me from doing stuff with my kids. And I'm like, whoa, that's not what this is. All I said was, I'm not comfortable with her being there because of the boundaries you don't know how to set with women in your life, with her and the female best friend. So I'm not comfortable with it. So he gets in this headspace where, he's being distant with me and acting weird and whatever. So literally on a Tuesday, now remember the dates, Halloween was on a Friday. Right? He asked me to be his girlfriend, I think like 2 days before that. So on Tuesday, I feel bad. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I was like, tripping about the whole Halloween thing. And I ended up yelling at him because he ended up coming to my house like trying to talk. And we got in a heated argument, and I yelled at him and snatched his glasses off his face and, whatever, because he be pissing me off because he's very manipulative and likes to turn things around on you when he's really the problem. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, so I felt bad about it, and I go to his house, talk to him and apologize, and we talk it out, and we decide like we're gonna work through it or whatever. So literally that same day, we get on the phone at night like we usually do. We fall asleep on the phone. We fall asleep on the phone. And I'm thinking his phone hung up, which it usually does because he don't know how to charge his phone. So that night, I'm thinking his phone hung up. So I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to go to sleep because I'm sleepy anyway. So then the next day, he texts me and was like, hey, do you want to come over and work over here? So I'm like, yeah, cool. So I go over there and work until he got to, get his son from the bus stop or whatever. So literally when I get home, he's blowing up my phone and keeps calling me, asking me what I'm doing. And I'm like, I'm working. Like, what do you want? And he was like, nothing, bye. So then he called me maybe 5 minutes later again and asked me what I was doing again. And I'm like, I'm still working. Like, what is going on? And he was like, nothing, bye. And I'm like, okay, clearly something's going on. So then he called me a third time, and I'm like, bro, what is going on? And then he was like, nothing. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm still working. Nothing's changed from the last 10 minutes that you called me. So what's going on? And he was like, nothing, I'll call you back. I was like, bruh. And he was like, don't do this. And I'm like, no, because what do you keep calling me for? And then he was like, no, it's fine, I'll call you back. So then after that third time he hung up, this random number texted me and was like, hey, just so you know, so-and-so and so-and-so had sex. His ex-wife and him had sex. So I'm like, well, who is this? Because apparently, I'm thinking it's like a text app number because the message is green, and who don't have an iPhone nowadays? But anyway, so I'm thinking it's like a text app number. So I call the number, and a guy picks up the phone. Oh, and I forgot to say this in part 1 and part 2. But the whole time, the ex-wife has a boyfriend and so a guy that she's dealing with this entire time. I forgot to mention that.
I knew
Giving it out.
I knew it. That's the only piece I needed to tie this all together. This was an open relationship agreed upon by the wife and the husband. Everybody's being tricked, bamboozled. Every party outside the wife and the husband is being bamboozled. I knew it. Why wouldn't you say that in the beginning? We already knew. We knew. We knew the wife was out here doing her thing. Women is not about to just sit back and allow that. It's a reason why that man was not divorced immediately. It's a reason why his wife will know that that you exist and this other woman exists. If you know that these women exist, you don't think the wife know that you exist and the other woman exists? Like, come on now. The only thing that really what gave it away to me is like, why is the wife not more pissed about all this? You spent 15 years with this man and you just, man.
She should have pieced this together when she went out of town and they're arguing at 12 a.m. What do co-parenters got to be arguing about at 12 a.m.? Like, let's be for real.
This is a poly marriage. Y'all are just in it. Y'all don't even realize what y'all done got yourself into. I don't know how old this storyteller is, but she looks young. And I'm telling you now, this is exactly why y'all need to stay away from them older couples. They be running game. Y'all think y'all running, you can't, how you gonna teach a grown man to do, you trying to train a grown man, a grown ass man that could probably be your daddy, on what he supposed to be doing and how he's supposed to be moving. You think he give a damn what you think? He don't. He do not care. He don't care about you so much that he told you every female he messing around with.
He don't care so much that you still seeing the best friend when you go to church because she part of the ministry. So if we would have changed churches so fast.
You just don't understand. You coming over there catering to this bed whole time. His wife is just on vacation. She's on a break. And when she's ready to come back, you gotta go. Do you understand what you signing up for? And then I know they finally got the divorce or whatever the case may be, but do you understand what 15 years look like? Do you know how long it would take somebody to get over somebody that they've been with for 15 damn years?
She about to learn like the best friend. Is anybody at the house right now? Because I'm trying to come over.
If you think that friend has pull, wait till the wife gets to acting petty and gets to I'm still about to do what I do.
She proved her point when she said, I'm moving back in with you. And it's nothing all your little friends can say about it.
Did you get proof that they got a divorce? Was it proof? Huh? Because you just kind of skimmed over that divorce part. Yeah, they got divorced. Did they for sure, though? That's the real question. Because if the wife was already messing with another man and this man was sleeping in that house with his wife still after that, I don't know many men that'll do that. Even if a man's cheating, I don't know no damn man that'll sit in there and know his wife getting folded like a lawn chair every other damn night when he ain't there and just be sleeping in there for the kids' sake. Them mugs was in that shit together. They was on that together. I know these conversations. When you with somebody for so long and you just get, listen, young people do this. So I know older people do this. They leave it more mutual. It ain't gonna be toxic with older people. They gonna be like, listen, this ain't working. How about this? We test out other people, see if we like it. And if we good and we still don't want to mess with each other, then we'll go through with divorce. I promise you that had to be how the conversation went. That divorce sounded too damn smooth. You talking about it was just over. No heartache, no fighting, no fighting over properties. It's been 15 years. And you just say it's over. You sure? Did you show up that day to that? Because you know, a narcissist will give you a bunch of truths and lie about the big one. You know, they'll say, I done told you all the truth now. I done told you about women. I done told you about this. Why would I lie about this? Because they knew they was. That's why I told you all this little shit so I can lie about this. And we ain't never getting divorced.
I think the biggest red flag was him not having her around the kids. If once you meet somebody kids, it's like, okay, I see long term in this.
Right.
But if you ain't met nobody kids, baby, them kids ain't never about to see
She
you.
had to get up out of there before the kids came. Just glanced over that. Oh, I'll be over there when his kids come. I'll just leave. Hold on. Why we scamming past that? That's pretty quick. Hold on. Rewind. Why do you have to leave your man when the kids come? You know what I'm saying? This is story time for the story times. God damn.
So I call the number and a guy answers the phone and I'm like, who is this? And he was like, this is so-and-so. And I'm like, who is that? And he was like, oh, you don't know me? And I'm like, no. And mind you, when I called him, he was like, hey, is this Shamaria? And I'm like, how do you know my name? But anyway, so I end up asking him like, okay, so what's going on? So he tells me that he went through her phone when she left the house or whatever and saw text messages in there saying that, you know, them telling each other that they love each other and they miss each other and they had sex and he bought her a massage and all this crazy stuff. So he kept calling me, asking me what I was doing because he's trying to figure out if old boy done called me and told me it. So then I hang up with him or whatever and he was like, they got in a fight. So I hang up with him and dude calls me back and was like, what you doing? I said, I ain't even say nothing. I literally said, what happened? And he was like, I mean, it sounds like you already know. And I was like, no, what happened? And he was like, oh, well, me and so got in a fight. I said, no. That's not what I'm talking about. What happened? And he was like, well, me and her had sex. And I said, oh, really? And he was like, well, it's not what you think, though. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not what I think? And then he was like, it's not what you think. Like, it was just a moment and blah, blah, blah. Child, hung up that phone. Hung up the phone and blocked him. Then he started blowing my phone up, and I can show y'all the darn call list. Had like 50 freaking voicemails and missed calls private from him. Literally blowing my phone up, trying to explain what happened and blah, blah, blah. So then I remember, oh yeah, he gave me her phone number, the ex-wife. I was like, oh yeah, he gave me her phone number like some months back. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna text her. So I text her behind and cussed her behind out. And then here she go talking about you don't even know what happened, and it was a one-time thing, and I don't even know how we got there, and if you love him, like, you know, then whatever. So then I cussed her out. So then we started going back and forth or whatever. So then the next day, the dude, actually, matter of fact, that same night that I found out that same day I found out that he cheated or whatever. So the guy, the ex-wife's boyfriend, he called me 2 more times and was like, you know, telling me that they got in a fight and he had to go get stitches in his hand or whatever. And then, so then the next day, the ex-wife texts me, well, not really apologizing. She was just like, hey, you know, he's really in love with you. And, you know, I don't even know how we got to that place, but it was a one-time thing. And if you love him, then you should just work it out. First of all, who are you to be telling me anything about, oh, he loves you and if you knew that, then what is you over here having sex with him for? If you knew that. But you can't keep your legs closed, that you literally know this man got a girlfriend, know he dealing with somebody, and still chose to do that. And then you got a whole man that you don't want to be with because he can't do the stuff that we doing. So you come over here messing our stuff up. And then again, my ex so dumb, you can't even see that she's so jealous that she like, you know what, I'm gonna mess up what they got going on. And it was stupid. Why did y'all get a divorce just to go date other people and then cheat on those people with each other? Y'all could have just stayed married. Like, that makes no sense. So then, like I said, she texted me saying all that or whatever. And then she was like, you know, relationships go through things. So if you want to work it out, you should. Okay. Let's pause the story real quick. First of all, cheating in a relationship, for y'all who don't know, cheating in a relationship is not normal. I know people have normalized it and made it seem like it's a part of relationships. It's not, and it shouldn't be. You should not, if you really care about somebody, you really love somebody, you're not going to do that. There's certain things you're not going to do, and cheating should be one of them. You should not cheat if you actually care and love somebody. So anyway, back to the story. So yeah, so she texted me that. And then I ended up texting her back, and I was like, what's your apartment number? Because I know where she stay. What's your apartment number? I don't have time for this. And why is you texting me again? So then she was like, I'm not with the drama. If you want to have a conversation, we can, whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, we can have a conversation. So then she was like, well, what day is good for you? And I was like, Saturday. Bet. You know, we stopped texting. Mind you, my ex still calling and texting me, like trying to explain himself and telling me it's not what you think and it was a moment and, you know, it'll never happen again and I'll put boundaries in place and I'll block her and I won't talk to her anymore and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, but I've been asked you to do that. I've been told you, y'all shouldn't be having conversations on the phone if it's not about the kids, but you didn't listen and you did that, and that's what led to y'all having sex. So now what's crazy, even after all that, he done changed his story. So we had a conversation like maybe not even a week after that. So we had a conversation, and his story the second time was, well, we actually didn't even have sex. We came up with that lie because she didn't want to be with her boyfriend anymore. So that's what we agreed that we was going to say.
I've never met a story time that I had so much the hell to say. First of all, why are we still having conversations? We still having What's the point of relationships nowadays? If there's people out here that's like this, that'll just accept you for who you, why are we getting in relationships? You asking why this married woman is still sleeping with her husband. Let me tell you why. Because deep down, she don't like you. And you think you took something from her. She feels that way too, but she gets the satisfaction of knowing that She can sleep with that man whenever she wants to. If you think women don't be bitter, and then you talking to her crazy, girl, respect your elders. You talking to a grown-ass woman, probably. And I get it, it's wrong, what's wrong is right, but that's her man. That ain't your damn man. That ain't your man, baby. I hate to tell you. I hate to be the man to tell you. I thought women should tell y'all this. That's not your man. That was her man. It's still her man to this day. If I put 15 years and me and her together for 15 years, if we split, we still together. You think we about to just stop? Yeah, no, we ain't stopping. Yeah, we just taking a break. We just believing in our heads that we on break. But in reality, we like that type of shit. Yeah. We like feeling like we can meet up, sleep around, and then go home and act like we don't know each other. Because we done spent so much time together. Y'all understand how married people is. Why you need to stay the hell out they shit. Like, if they married, stay away then. Because you don't know the type of shit. They done been together for 15 years. I'm telling y'all game. I was in the family. Listen, I've been around. I know. I've seen marriage in my real life. All right? It's a reason why they step out. You be like, grandpa and grandma, go sit down with your grandparents and ask them how the hell they stick together for 10, 15 years and see what your grandma say. Yeah, they got to a point in that 10th year where they stepped out, met new people, ruined their lives, because that's fun. Trust me. It's fun when you in a marriage and it's been bored for a while. You think you getting my man, but reality, I'm getting something, he getting something. Then we get to come back and be excited for each other. It's that young fling again. It's too mature for the young audience to understand. But and I'm not saying that's healthy. That's probably a toxic marriage, no lie. I think a healthy marriage is sticking together, not, y'all just loving each other forever and getting old together. But don't ever think, if it's ever a rough patch in a marriage, that you was winning if you the other person. That was planned by the wife, 100%. The wife gave that man permission to do everything he did, and he did it. That's why the divorce had to be smooth as hell. They was arguing, fighting because they was still hunching. Yeah, I'm not saying they ain't gonna still be arguing, fighting after divorce, because that's kind of messy. You got kids involved, you got money involved. That's gonna be arguments every day. Just the fact of, let's hurry up. Just the conversation of, can we hurry up and get this process speeded up is an argument. So, but that's what you signed up for when you decided to get that married man. But that's my POV when it comes to this so far.
I would have been sent over the edge from having the boyfriend having to contact me, a boyfriend I don't even know about. Then you finding out he paid for a massage after he committed this. After he cheated, he gave her a massage. He paid for her to get a massage. Then she has the nerve to tell you how much you mean to this man.
I got something on that one. Mm-hmm.
They think you is boo-boo the fool. Mm-hmm. And still you prove to them that you're exactly that by staying in contact with them. Then he went and told you, I'ma block her. F the kids, basically. Because how you about to block her and y'all got kids together? And you sitting here believing this? And the fact that you even told him before the holiday happened, I don't think you should do that because of y'all history. And what he do? Brush it under the rug, because he don't care what you think. He gonna do what he wanna do, and then some. What? I'm just trying to understand when enough is enough.
If you think that wife actually give a damn that he loves you or not, you a fool. That is code for take this nigga back. Please get this nigga off my back. I'm telling you, it's too mature for some of y'all to understand. Take this nigga back. I like messing around with him, but I'm not trying to hear this nigga in my ear all the time. You said why she divorced him. You telling me all the stuff that he be doing to you and all the passive aggressive shit. That's why she don't want this man. He's hard to deal with, but he's probably a good fuck. Let's be grown. Let's be grown for a second. Mm-hmm. She liked the fact of having him, but not being with him. If you don't think that exists, you're too young for this video. She likes this man, but not enough. That's why she like, hey, he still loves you. Yeah, and if you knew he loved me, why would you mess around with him? I already answered that. You already know why. But the fact is, she just trying to get this man off her back. She got her other man. She's sleeping with this man and then sleeping with this man. When you leave a marriage, everything is free game to them in the beginning, in the first few months, in the first year. And if you messing with somebody and they just got out of a divorce and it's been less than a year, you about to get cooked. It's a cooked situation. I just spent 15 years with a woman. You think I'm about to be sitting here committed, listen to a girl tell me what I'm about to do all day? Listen, you can sit here and say, well, why are you in a relationship? Why are you in a relationship with me if you ain't trying to take it serious? I don't know. I just know that maybe they only know, maybe because that's the only way they're going to get the hit. Let's just be grown. I'm only going to date you because that's the only way you're going to let me hit. If you would have let me hit before dating you, then I wouldn't be dating your
You
ass.
would have just been like the best friend.
Yeah, you just been like the best friend. We could have just been best friends and effing around, but you made it a little bit, you came with a little bit more priorities. Good for you though. But I wish your priorities were a little more higher. I wish your standards were a little more higher to the point that he wouldn't even be able to touch you until that wife is fully divorced. You know, until he was fully over his girl. If you would have kept those standards that high, you know, he would have been a little bit different for you. But the girl, her standards lower than yours, clearly. She was okay with just being his friend. I don't know what comes with this man, but it gotta be something. Because the fact is, you women are getting played with in front of your face and not giving a damn. The wife is taking a W home for her. Oh, I'm sorry, the ex-wife. She's carrying a W in this situation, 100%. Y'all helping her out all the way around. Like, she get to divorce this man, take his half of his money, whatever the case may be, and still get to mess around with this man, and still get to have protection and security and all this shit that came with him when she was dating him. He even still sleeping in her bed up until that point. Y'all can have this nigga.
First of all, why is y'all plotting and being like, oh, we gonna lie to them and say this? Who does that? And why did you think it's smart to be like, oh, well, I'm gonna lie to my girlfriend and tell her I had sex with my ex because she don't want to be in her relationship? Are you dumb or are you dumb? Like, seriously. So then after he says that, I'm like, first of all, I don't believe that. And then even if that is the case, that's freaking stupid. So he was like, well, only thing we did, she came over and we made out for 5 minutes. I don't give a darn if y'all made out for a minute. I don't care if y'all made out for a second. It's still cheating. You still cheated. That's the point. Then when I talked to him again, he changed the story again and was like, well, we didn't make out. We only kissed one time or whatever. And that was it. And then he was like, he stopped it because he was like, we shouldn't be doing this. And she was like, yeah. And then she left his house. Y'all, do I have stupid written on my forehead? Because who in the world would believe that story? And then the thing is, you're lying regardless, because it's like, first you said y'all had sex, then you said y'all lied about having sex. Now you're saying, then you said y'all only made out. Now you're saying y'all didn't make out, y'all only kissed. And then he's like, I keep telling you that it's not what you think, but you won't even let me have a conversation and blah, blah, blah. Sir, either way you're lying. Either way, you're lying. And I don't care what story you want to stick with, because first of all, you can't even get your lie straight because you done told me 50 different versions of it. So yeah, no, I don't want to be with you anymore. Now you're mad and telling me like, oh, well, I don't see how you go from being in love with somebody. And let me tell y'all, this man, quote unquote, was looking for engagement rings for me because he wanted to get married. We was talking about buying a house and moving to another city together and all this stuff. Then even after this whole time I've been dealing with this man, I have literally took him out for his birthday, took him on dates, literally because he's a full-time dad. When I'm at his house on the weekends and his kids are gone, I literally tell him, don't worry about the dishes or whatever. Don't worry about cooking. I got everything, because I know you have to do all that during the week. What female is doing that? I'm sure there are some, but what female do that? Then I even paid to take him in, like I paid for me, him, and his kids to go to the zoo. Then for his birthday, I paid for a cruise, but then he pissed me off because again he don't know how to set boundaries with people. So we ended up getting in an argument or whatever, and I told him, no, you're not going on the cruise. You don't deserve it. So I didn't take him on the cruise, and I took my mama. Who does that? No. Then on Father's Day, I took this man for breakfast after church. Then we went and got lunch. Then I took him to get a facial. Then I took him to dinner for his birthday. When he asked me to be his girlfriend, paid $400 for dinner at the steakhouse that he liked. Then literally not even a week later, you cheat on me. Like, come on. You know how many dudes out here? You know what? We're not even going to go there. But yeah, I was there for him when his dog died. I was there for him when his granddad died. I was there for him when his mama ended up going to the hospital. And you got a girl who does all this stuff. And literally not one time was I like entertaining anybody. Like, no guy can come tell him anything about me or anything like that. But you over here doing all this stuff because you don't know how to set boundaries with women that you care about. Crazy. What's funny is when I told him he has an issue with setting boundaries with women, he's like, well, if you know that's my problem, then help me. And I'm like, I've been helping you. I told you to stop talking to your female best friend, but you didn't want to, and that caused other issues. Then I told you don't be having conversations with your kid's mom unless it's about the kids, and you still did that, and that led to you cheating on me. Then what I find crazy is we literally just had this conversation about Halloween when I said I'm uncomfortable, and then you end up doing that. And you think and then he's like, oh, well, you yelled at me that day and you felt bad about what you did, and everybody makes a mistake. You made a mistake and I made a mistake and you don't want to forgive me. How you gonna compare me yelling at you because you got mad at me because I said I was uncomfortable with y'all going trick-or-treating and I yelled at you? Now you trying to say, oh, well, you made a mistake too because you yelled at me or whatever. Sir, yelling and cheating is come on. And then honestly, me yelling at you was like justified. Because you really was tripping that I said I was uncomfortable with y'all going trick-or-treating. Like, come on. But I'm going to end it with this. So, yeah, I'm not dealing with him anymore. I hope him and his ex-wife have a lovely life together. And, yeah, ladies, the red flags, don't ignore them. I don't care how much you love them, how much you care about them. The red flags, do not ignore them, okay? Do not ignore them.
First of all, I feel like we all can learn from this story time. I'm not going to sit here and bash the creator. She did do some things that was super alarming to me, but at the same time, I understand love can be very blinding. I believe the storyteller can make a good partner for somebody who's actually committed. If you would have found a man who was actually not married and who was not going through all that drama and who was just willing to, you could have found so many different men in the church. If you ask me, maybe try with a different man, because if you are the woman you say you are, then you shouldn't have problems with men at all in general. You know what I mean? If you are the one taking care and catering and doing all these things, I'm not saying men are going to just fall at your feet because of those things, because honestly, real men don't need providers. So if you sit here providing for, but it feels good. Don't get me wrong. It feels good when you are getting provided for at times, but real men don't look for that. That's not something to flex as a woman. Oh, I'll take my man here, I'll take him there, I'll take him there. Don't say that too loud while your man there, because that can be embarrassing at times for men. Like, hey, babe, stop acting like I'm a bum. I do things for myself too. And that's how men would take it. It's different when a man saying, I'm doing this for you, I'm doing this for that, and, bragging to their friends, because that's technically what men's supposed to do. So we just bragging about what we supposed to do. But when you're doing something you're not supposed to do, it kind of makes it look weird for the person, like a man. It makes it look weird on us, like, well, damn, like you making me look like a bum. And
to add on to that, it was just like when she said, you know what, I'm not going to hibachi with you and we're not going to that dessert spot. Girl, he showed you right then and there, I can get my own dessert and I'm going to bring this chick with me. You don't got to do this for me. You said I don't have to go on this cruise or whatever the case may be. When that girl went to Florida, I'm pretty sure he paid for her to get there. She did not go with friends and they ditched her. That was never the case. On Valentine's weekend, she happened to be in the same state, same city. Baby girl.
Yeah, same room.
Baby girl, come on now. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a learning lesson. Like, we say, we laugh, we joke around. At the end of the day, this is just a relationship. This is nothing major. This is just an irritating moment in your life. This is something you can completely get over. That's why it's just made light of in this situation, because it's like, this is silly. Like, this is silly. You're a good person. You're a great woman. Go find a man to match your energy. It's just simple as that. Now, we gonna have our opinions on this story time. Don't get me wrong, the husband, he is a terrible guy, but he's always been that. He's never started out being a good guy. So that's why it was just alarming to me, because he was never a good guy, He came out literally telling you from the jump that he had a girlfriend. So I can't be too mad at him, because he didn't even manipulate you. He didn't even try to. He just did it and then made up 1,000 excuses, and you took the excuse. You stopped believing what you saw and what you believed just because you wanted something too out of that. So the little addictive traits that the other little best friend girl had about him, you kind of had those same traits because you was dealing with it. You was still dealing with it. You just was voicing your disagreement more than the other. I guess the other girl maybe just decided like, hey, listen, it's like talking to a wall. So I'm just going to be a friend. I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to get me some money. I'm going to do me. And there's a lot of women out here who don't care to just be a side chick and do them. They ain't trying to take him no serious. They out here doing with other men. And it's a freaky ass culture. I'm not going to lie to you. It's freaky as hell out here. That's why I stay locked in. You got to stay locked in, fellas. That's how you become successful in life. And anybody out there. I'm not saying you need to be in a relationship to be successful, but it's good to be in a relationship because you have that accountability partner. You have somebody to keep you grounded. And it's good. Like, men need women, You don't need a lot of women. You just need one woman that can understand what you're going through and it can help you, reach new levels in your life. And you're supposed to do that vice versa for each other. But that's just my thoughts when it comes to this story time, Messy family. What are y'all thoughts? I know y'all are flooded with opinions when it comes to this type of story time because marriage, dealing with married people, I know that's the topic of the day when it comes to messy stories. But what do you guys think? What do y'all think about the storyteller? I think she's a really good storyteller though. She definitely kept us engaged throughout the story time. Thank you so much for being so transparent and vulnerable with us. When you're being vulnerable, it allows people to have opinions, okay? So please don't look at what we said as offensive. We're not trying to attack you. We are on your side in a sense. We get it. We're just trying to teach the other women that's your age and older that if you see these type of signs in men, run. That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to help you get the hell out of there immediately. Get out of this. Like, this is silly. Don't question it. Just get on. Especially, but yeah, in that situation. But if you guys are interested in following this creator and getting to know more about her and maybe some updates, maybe I got some questions y'all want to ask her directly. We will have her name linked in the description box below so you can go straight to her profile and ask any questions that you have for her. But Messy family, that's all we have for you guys today. So let us know what you think. And please do not forget to hype this video. I'm starting to learn we got new features on YouTube. So if you see that hype feature, go ahead and hit that hype button and get this video pushing in the algorithm. We will appreciate you much. But that's all we got for you guys today, Messy family. We will see you all in the next story time. Peace.